Hello, friends from the comic and manga world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and we're here to talk to you about our picks for the September 1st FOC. G and I work for Penguin Random House, and we manage sales into the direct market around the world. So the books that we talk about in these videos are from the publishers that we represent into those markets. Also, know we're on social media, so feel free to visit us on Instagram, X, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. You can find us at PRH International Comics, but we'll leave some links in the description below. So let's get started. I think you start,
Yep.
IG.
First up is Chasing Red. This is volume one. We have a star basketball player and who is also the college heartthrob named Caleb Lockhart, who's the last person the main character, this girl named Veronica Straffer, should be involved with. So she's ambitious, independent, and refuses to be his next conquest, even after a chance encounter between them sparks this attraction between the two. So she's evicted out of nowhere, and she's evicted with nowhere else to go, and she finds herself leaning on Caleb for the first time. Caleb, in his perspective, has never felt this way about any woman before, and he's determined to pursue her even as like the secrets of their past threaten to break them apart. So this volume that you're seeing here, it collects episodes 1 to 18 of the webtoon comic. And the comic is actually it's an adaptation, so it's based off of the Wattpad novel uh, by Isabel Ronan. It has over 260 million readers on the platform on Webtoon, which is insane. And
Yeah.
so this is
Wow.
basically people who love sports romance and opposites attract like trope in this like graphic novel format. So a global bestseller that I think that you should pick up and I'm particularly interested in, so I chose to highlight it for today.
Very cool. And next up, we are looking at my first picks for comic books or single issues on this FOC. This is Godzilla. Here there be aliens number 5, and we have a cover A, and also the ratio variant 1 in 25 by Fero Pe, or Fero Peniche is his full name. Uh, this book obviously is the third in the line of miniseries they've been doing with Godzilla Here There Be, and this is the fifth, I believe, the last issue of the series. Yes, it ends here. It's on the description, and written by Frank Thierry and illustrated by Angel Hernandez. But let's talk about this amazing cover by Ferope, amazing Mexican artist who has been doing a lot of work with TMNT and Godzilla and IDW. Check out his art. It's, I mean, as you can tell, it's very cool. And this is sort of like such a great battle royale to have a Godzilla, and I am not particularly sure, but it's another Godzilla type. But then you have, some of the kaiju's in the background and the city in the middle, of course, and fire, and it looks so cool. Like it gives you a perspective, like you're right there with the kaiju's fighting. So yes, I was really excited when I saw this one. There's the other covers that are also amazing. You should check them all out for this book, but this is the one that really jumped at me. There you go. Next.
Next up, we have White Tiger Reborn, issue one. So this is the return of White Tiger, and Ava is the current wielder of the powers of the White Tiger, which bears the amulet of power that imbues its host with connections to mystical power, martial arts prowess. And so Ava returns to her own stomping grounds to protect the innocent, gets embroiled into this mystery which forces her to confront her family's murder, this convoluted history that actually links them back to the white tiger mantle as Ava is brought face to face with Hector, her dead brother, and the original white tiger. So in this special, which is celebrating Hispanic and Latin America Heritage Month, we have the writer Daniel Jose Older uh, and basically uncovering never before seen moments of the white tiger's history that propels Ava into this new era as she like reforges her link to the tiger god. So making the mantle her own in this way. So I chose particularly this main cover by Mike Hawthorne, which I think is striking, and I can't wait to pick this up. So yes.
Excellent. And then we continue with Spider-Man Noir #1, and this is this Andrea Sorrentino 1 in 25 variant. Uh, Another #1 for this FOC for another character that is making, getting a lot of popularity in this case, and also, before the TV show that is coming out. I forget when it's coming out, but I know it's in the works, with the character of Spider Noir played by Nicolas Cage. So this book sort of uh, reintroduces the character. It gives us its own arc story. Of course, it's in the 1930s, and it talks about Peter trying to solve a case of a woman, a dame, that came to see him, seek help, the murder of her father, and the dame's name, Gwen Stacy. So I love all of everything about this right now. And this cover by Andrea Sorrentino, I should have said this is written by Eric Langston and illustrated by another Italian, Andrea Boccardo, and then Andrea Sorrentino does this cover. So I love, sort of black negative space and sort of the character coming from the shadows, but you still have some splashes of red in the eyes and some blood and the smoking guns, literally smoking right there on the cover. It is such a cool cover. Uh, Definitely one of my favorites for this FOC. That's it. Next.
And then we have Deluge issue 1. This is cover A, done by Riley Rosmo. So this is such an interesting concept. I got to read issue 1. So essentially, it's set in Sayreville Correctional Prison Facility for women. And what's interesting is we're introduced to a problem where a nearby river rises and the banks are overflowing and it's causing flooding that is seeping
Hmm.
into the facilities in the correctional prison. And so it's a question of how do you move thousands of prisoners to safety when the flood is like quickly rising upon the hour. And so what's doubly interesting is that amongst this sort of chaos that is happening right now, something is lurking in the waters beneath. And so you have like a very confined space of the inside the prison, but then you're lacking visibility because the murky waters, you can't see what's below. And so there's always this like tension and threat as you're reading through the comic because you don't know if what's going to happen, if the monster below is going to rise at that point. And when that's all happening, you get introduced to all of these different inmates, and you're starting to learn more about the ensemble of characters as you're going through and reading through the comic. And so
Yeah.
it really tests the horror aspect because, like it's a page turning, you don't know what's going to happen next kind of thing. And of course, we have the creative team, Colin Bunn, and also Marika Cresta on this. So definitely for readers who love the horror genre, this is for you. And yes, you should pick it up.
Yes. Very, very cool.
Mhm.
Next up, Star Wars number 6. This is the Bengal Ahsoka and Anakin Jedi Knights variant. This is obviously continuing the new series from Star Wars, obviously by Alex Segura and illustrated by Phil Noto and Bengal, the Spanish artist. Did this amazing cover with characters. The characters are not including the stories because the stories are from a different era, but it's sort of an homage to the Ahsoka and the Anakin from the Clone Wars period, which I love the stories. And, fans of Ahsoka definitely would love to see this sort of that going back to where she was originated. Like she came from the obviously the Clone Wars TV animated show, animated movie originally. And then yeah, it looks so cool. It's just master and apprentice right there, ready to do battle, basically. Very, very cool. Not much to say about this. Bengal is an amazing artist. I'm sure everybody should know who Bengal is by now. And he's been doing a lot of work across different publishers. And I'm glad that he decided to do this for Star Wars. Great.
Okay. Then next up, we have Red Book 1. This is issue 1, cover B, done by Yuko Shimizu. This is done by, well, James Tynion the Fourth, Michael Avon Oeming, but of course there's various other guest creators that are part of these stories. So essentially, this is set Russia 1961. We have 9 students who died tragically under mysterious circumstances that will come to be known as the Dialov Pass incident. So to this day, the true cause of the deaths remain unknown, although some theorists, there we go, blame the lies. Some of them believe that the blame lies with the visitors far beyond the stars. And so you can think of Red Book as a follow-up to Blue Book. So it's essentially this all-new volume, these issues of true tales capturing the strange world of alien encounters. So, but this time, in this series, we're focusing on uncanny extraterrestrial stories of Russia and China, and so each issue will feature true weird backup stories, of course, by the guest creators that I mentioned earlier, in addition to James Tynion IV and Oming here. So really cool. It's such a striking cover. I couldn't stop looking at it, so I had to pick this.
Yeah, very cool. And my next cover, we still continue with a James Tynion book. This is Something is Killing the Children. A monster hunter walks into a bar, number 1. This is the main dress cover by Wesley Dara, who's the illustrator for the book. Obviously, it's not at the trade dress art. We didn't have it available at the time of recording. So, but this also tells you there's going to be also a virgin version of this art. Um, and of course, we see Erica here just kind of a lot of like versions of her, sort of a hallucinogenic view of Erica. This book is a one shot. I forget how many it collects. I think it is 6 stories that were published originally as part of the anthology Hello Darkness that is still ongoing. Not the story specifically, but like Hello Darkness, we get a new one every month with different stories in them. And this was originally published there as 6 separate chapters, and now we get them all in one shot finally. And the interesting thing is that there are stories from the travels of Erica across the country killing monsters, but from the point of view of the people she interacts with, the people she saves. So it's very, very cool concept. And then going back to this art, it's just amazing by Weather Dara, like I said, the illustrator of this book. Also, I love that the fact that it's not just the sort of illusion of many Erica's behind, but also sort of the shadows. sort of form a little bit of, it looks a little bit like The Mask, but in verse instead of white teeth, black teeth. Well, a little bit like the white teeth, I guess. Very, very cool. And it also caught my eye because if you want to do a remark on a something's killing the children comic book, this is perfect because it gives you a lot of space on top to do a remark, which is a big thing nowadays. So I just wanted to give you a lot of reasons to buy this. I don't think you need reasons to buy this. So there you go.
All right, and then our piece of news for this week. This is Dark Horse announcing the credits roll into the Sea Volume 1, Manga Volume 1. So a little bit about this is there's always that question everyone thinks about is what are you going to do with the rest of your life? And you ask those questions regardless of your age. And we have the main character here, Umiko Chino, who is 65-year-old. She's a retired woman. She's also mourning her late husband, and she is just remembering how they used to watch films together and how Umiko goes to the movie theater for the first time in years, where she meets Kai, who's this attractive, ambiguous young man who studies filmmaking at a nearby art school. So they would seem to have nothing in common, like different ages, like different generations, except for this. Both of them sometimes like to look more at the audience reactions to a movie than that movie itself. And Kai believes Umoko has the same deep desire he possesses to experience how people respond to something that they made. Um, and essentially challenges her to stake the rest of her life discovering that thrill. And so Umiko surprises herself by enrolling in the same film school as Kai, but sailing into this like new sea where she's suddenly inside like the fellow students' lives for of a much younger generation than herself. She's trying to struggle to understand what they're going through, driven by their own passions and their own relationships. It's just an interesting perspective coming from someone who's much older. So it's also the question of who really is the most experienced at life. Is old age part of that, or observation itself, does that in of itself brings wisdom? Because you can learn a lot just by looking and observing those around you. So it's an interesting narrative to look at because it takes this concept of filmmaking and the joy of that and the hobby of that and the interest of that, but then looking through the lens of someone who's much older, who's experiencing the younger generation through older eyes. So it's a very interesting take. I highly recommend checking it out. So keep your eyes peeled when this comes out.
And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. And please, like I said, visit us on our social media on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and of course, YouTube. Leave us your comment. What did you like about this FOC? Which are your favorite covers? Is there something else that you're looking forward to? And come back. We like doing all this content for you guys. So that's it for this time. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.